Good day once again, my name is Graphics. Today we want to solve this exercise in mechanical engineering science. We'll be treating an aspect of it which is called statics. Now we want to analyze this question. It says a man walks 7 km due north, then 10 km due east, find the resultant displacement. Now what you do is, the first thing you have to do, you need to draw your 4 cardinal points, like this. So this aspect will be your north, here will be your south, here will be your east, and here will be your west. If you have been familiar with my videos so far, you realize that I say whenever you're calculating bearing, you always go in a clockwise manner. Now it says the man travels 7 km due north. Now this is due north, so I'm going to extend the north this way, right? So let me stop here. That is 7 km, 7 km, and 10 km due east. And I will extend the east to this direction. Now we're having this. So it says 10 km, 10 km, right? So he's now asking, he's stopping at this point here. Stopping here, looking for his dimension, where to go to. Right? This is where the man is here. Now, the next we should look for displacement. Then I asked, the displacement means how far has he moved from his initial position. So the resultant here is that single distance that is specified, that is connecting his position. So from here to here will be, if you're looking for this, that will be our resultant here. Now if you look at now, this is forming a triangle, right? So what you do is you apply your Pythagoras Theorem, because this is more like a right angle triangle, right? So what you do, let's call the initial point A, let's call here B, and let's call here C. Definitely you say applying Pythagoras Theorem, right? Theorem. We'll say that the longest side square, which is the resultant square, is equals to the horizontal square, which is 10 square, plus the vertical square, which is 7 square, right? So the arrow here will give us the square root of, when this square is coming here, becomes square root. So we have 10 square will give me 100, plus 7 square will give me 49. So the displacement arrow, resultant displacement here, will give me square root of what? 149. So if you look for the square root of 149, we'll be having the arrow here will be equal to what? 12.20 kilometer. Since we're talking about displacement is the distance traveled in a specified direction. So the distance he has traveled from here to here is r, so that is 12 kilometer. Is that taken? That is for the first one. Then the same thing will be applied to the second one too. Now it's not telling us that if you travel 7 kilometer 30 degree east. Now look at what's happening here. I would like to do it somewhere around here. So the same thing you do here, you're going to draw your cardinal points. Now let me just move up. Draw your cardinal points. Again, like this. For cardinal point, we have this way. And we have this way. So this is my north, south, east and west, right? Now it's telling us he's traveling what? 30 degree, 7 kilometer, 30 degree east of north. Now 30 degree east of north, that means this is north and east, so 30 degree it falls around this side here. So I'm going to take my rule and I'm going to do, let me assume this is, because this is 0 degree and we're going this direction, we're going where? This is 0 degree, so 30 degree east of north will be something like this. So this is 0 here, right? So what I will do is I'm going to place it like this, 30 degree at this point, right? So let me assume from here to here, say east of north, so like this. We'll have 30 here degree, right? So this is the first point here, and that is 7 kilometer. 7 kilometer. And moving further, and it's telling us that then 10 kilometer east. So it's now going 10 kilometer east. So if I place it this way, I'll be having something like this, 10 kilometer east. This is east here, right? So if I put it this way, this is 10 kilometer here east, 10 kilometer here, right? So it's stopping here. Now one thing you need to know is that I'm going to be connecting this and this, right? So if you look at it very well, this is 30 and this will be forming my 90 degree, because if this is 30, right? If I complete this, this will be alternate angle. If it's 30, here also will be what? 30, and the remaining part here will be what? 60, right? So what you need to understand is the angle between, so if you have two sides and an equated angle, right, which is 30, so we can use our cosine rule. So we say that my arrow here is equals to what? The 10 square, the arrow square is equal to the 10 square plus the 7 square minus 2 into bracket 10 times what? 7, right? Cos the angle in between them, and that is 30, the angle facing the resultant distance there. So my arrow square will now give me 100 plus 140 plus 49 minus 2 times 10 is 20, 20 times 7 will give me 140, that will be 140, right? So it will be 140 cos 30. So when you put on the calculator here, you're having 20 times 40. We're going to be having the arrow square is equals to 149 minus 121.24 . So my arrow now will now give me the square root of we'll be having 27.76. So if you look for the square root of 27.76, we're having 5.2. The R will give me 5.2 7 kilometer. That is the resultant displacement here, because this is what we're having, right? So we're only considering this angle 30. Just ignore whatever angle that we have here at first, right? So now there's something I'll bring to your notice, and it is this. In the first instance, we have this, right? If we are dealing with force in this aspect, right? That is when when it is perpendicular, right? When it is perpendicular, we say that my arrow resultant force is equal to the square root of summation of what? EF of x all square plus summation of what? EF of y all square. That is if it's a force. We'll deal with this. But in this case here now we're talking about distances, so we use a Pythagoras Theorem. So we call this, in terms of coplanar force, this is resultant force when they are perpendicular. If you watch my videos, you get to understand more about this. Now if you come to this is what we call the triangular law, right? So when you have three forces, but here we're dealing with distance. So the cosine rule says that the arrow square is equals to the a square plus b square minus 2ab cos small arrow. How good? There is the angle opposite it. So all these things is something we'll do or we'll meet in our next video. This is the cosine rule, but here we're just dealing with distances, more like mathematics. So that is for this. Then the third one, which I will advise you to try your own, I'll just give you a hint. And it says if we travel 7 kilometer 40 degree west of north, then 10 kilometer east, right? So if you draw your 4 cardinal point, let me just give you an illustration. When you draw your 4 cardinal point, we're having north, south, east and west, right? It says 40 degree, 7 kilometer 40 degree west of what? Of north. So that means this is west north here, and that is 40 degree, right? So I will stop here, and it says 10 kilometer east. This east here. Are we good? I will also stop here. So we're going to join the two together. Now if you look at it very well now, if you remove 30, if you move forward from north to west here is 90. So if you move forward from 90, the angle that will be remaining here will be what? 50. Now between north and east is 90, right? So 50 plus 90 will give us 140. So the total angle here is 140 degree. Are we good? So that's the total angle here, 140 degree. So in the long run, it says 7 kilometer here, right? Then 10 kilometer here, and our result of displacement will be here. Can you see that? So if you apply your cosine rule, because we have two included and two sides and an included angle, it says that the angle, the side opposite the angle square, that is r square, is equals to 7 square plus 10 square minus 2 into bracket 7 times 10 cos what? Cos the total angle here, which is what? 140. 50 plus 90 is 140. How good? 50 plus 90 is 140. So we can easily say my arrow square will give me 49 plus 100 minus what? 140 cos 140, right? So my arrow now will give me, this is plus here, sorry, arrow square will give me 149, right? My 140 cos 140, we have 140 cos 140, we have negative 107.24. So the negative So the negative is going to affect this. They become a positive, right? So 107.24, which is the result of 140 cos 140, you add it with the 149, you get 256.24. You look for the square root, because when the square is coming here, it becomes a square root. Then our resultant displacement will be 16.01 kilometer. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.